Hurricane Milton strikes Florida, triggering dangerous flooding after landfall. At least 27 tornadoes were reported across Florida on Wednesday. At least 27 tornadoes were reported in Florida on Wednesday as Hurricane Milton loomed over the state, according to the National Weather Service, NWS. The NWS is still working to confirm all of the reports, an activity that will take some time due to storm conditions. Cumulatively, more than 125 tornado warnings were issued Wednesday by NWS offices in Tampa Bay, Melbourne, and Miami. This is the most tornado warnings ever issued in a single day for the state of Florida, crushing the previous record of 69 set on September 10, 2017, during Hurricane Irma. A tornado in St. Lucie County proved deadly for some residents of a mobile home retirement community. County Sheriff Keith Pearson told CNN. The sheriff declined to provide an exact number of deaths, but said it was more than one person. Ultimately, hundreds of homes were completely totaled by tornadoes in the county, Pearson said. And that was before Milton had even arrived. Daytona Beach weather radio transmitter is off the air, National Weather Service says. A National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration weather radio transmitter serving 7 central Florida counties is currently off the air, according to the National Weather Service in Melbourne, Florida. The Daytona Beach transmitter, operating on a frequency of 162.400 MHz, serves Lake, Brevard, Orange, Seminole, Volusia, Putnam, and Flagler counties, the Weather Service said in a post on social media early Thursday morning. NOAA Weather Radio is a nationwide network of radio stations broadcasting continuous weather information directly from National Weather Service offices across the country. The broadcasts include warnings, watches, forecasts, current weather observations, and other hazard information, 24 hours a day, according to the service. Alternate transmitters that serve the Daytona Beach listening area include 162.475 MHz in Orlando, 162.425 MHz in Palatka, 162.500 MHz in Sumterville, 162.550 MHz in Melbourne, and 162.475 MHz in Gainesville. Officials eager for daylight to assess damage following Hurricane Milton. Officials in Florida are awaiting daylight to assess damage in their cities as Hurricane Milton continues to barrel across the state. We don't know what we're going to see when it's daylight here, Tampa City Council Chairman Guido Maniscalco told CNN's Erica Hill on Thursday morning. Maniscalco said the strong gusts of winds have been terrifying to hear throughout the night. The wind is terrifying, I've never heard anything like it, and I've been in Tampa my whole life, Maniscalco said. He says the biggest concern in the area is storm surge and any damage that may follow. Charlotte County Commissioner Bill Truex says first responders are eager to get out when daylight breaks to help residents that may be in need following the storm. We do not have a hospital within 30 miles that's open, Truex said as hospitals in Charlotte County and nearby Englewood both closed ahead of the storm. A few calls were made throughout the night, which first responders handled, but nothing significant was reported, Truex said. The worst of Milton may have passed Tampa, but it's still too dangerous to go outside. Though authorities and meteorologists had feared Tampa would bear the heaviest brunt of Hurricane Milton, it appears the city has avoided the kind of devastating 15-foot storm surge that had been forecast, said CNN correspondent Brian Todd. But, he added, the amount of rain surpassed the forecast, receiving up to 5 months' worth of rain in just a few hours. I've never really seen sheets and walls of water coming down from a hurricane, he said, speaking from Tampa. Now, several hours after Milton first made landfall, the eye of the storm has moved east through central Florida. But the Tampa Bay area isn't out of the woods yet, Todd warned, calling it one of the most relentless hurricanes I've ever covered. The wind and rain have picked up yet again after having died down somewhat earlier in the night, he said. And he warned residents not to venture out just because the worst of the storm might have passed. Downed power lines and other dangers could easily turn fatal, he said, including ponds on streets that are far deeper than they appear, which could potentially drown unaware drivers. Earlier in the night, the storm pushed the water out of Tampa Bay, leaving it looking almost like a dry riverbed, he added. Now, in the early hours of Thursday morning, the water will begin being pushed back into the bay, and once daylight breaks, the extent of the storm surge and water levels will become more clear. Surreal to see Tropicana Field Stadium roof torn off, storm chaser tells CNN. Storm chaser Jonathan Petramola showed CNN the massive tear on the roof of Major League Baseball's Tropicana Field Stadium in St. Petersburg, Florida. This is one of the most surreal things ever, Petramola told CNN. The stadium was supposed to house first responders after the storm, but that plan has to change now. Petramola said it was like a maze to get through the floodwater and debris as he drove from Tampa to St. Petersburg. He also said several mobile home and trailer parks were getting ripped to shreds. Power outages soared to nearly 2.8 million. Nearly 2.8 million homes and businesses across Florida are without power early Thursday as Hurricane Milton sweeps across the state, according to power outage data. The most significant outages surround Sarasota County, where Milton made landfall on the island of Siesta Key Wednesday night. Hillsborough County had the most outages as of 2 a.m. Eastern Time with 510,000 in the dark. In nearby counties, between 80% and 97% of energy customers are without power, including in Sarasota, Manatee and Hardee counties. Outages will only keep ticking upward as Milton's far-reaching winds barrel toward Florida's east coast Thursday morning.